One of the biggest issues for sensitive, empathic, intuitive people is boundaries. Hi, my name is Dr. Heather Schwartz. I'm an intuitive, a coach, and a hypnosis practitioner. And in today's video, I want to share with you a little bit about what boundaries are. And it may be surprising to you. So, a little bit about me. My background is that I was a clinical psychologist and I opened up and had a spiritual awakening, which is still ongoing because spiritual awakenings tend to be ongoing. And, all these intuitive abilities came forward, some of which I'd had in smaller ways, and they became much larger. And then I had to learn about boundaries. I also could no longer practice therapy the way that I'd always practiced it in a mindfulness and relational way, because a lot of what I was encountering with people was energetic and intuitive. I was seeing things, I was hearing things, and I didn't feel that I could actually share those things because of the boundaries of the Psychology Association, which I totally understand. So I left the profession and I transitioned into being an intuitive coach, an empowerment coach, teaching skills on how to set better boundaries. Now, the really funny thing is that I had to learn my own boundaries deeply, deeply, deeply before I could really step into this profession. And so I've come by it really honestly. And I have to tell you, as a recovering control freak slash people pleaser, and I mean this in the kindest way to myself, boundaries can be a challenge. Many of the people that I've worked with, ongoing or in the past, are people who have issues with boundaries. And what they frequently say, and you might relate to this, is people are in my space. Energy is in my space. And that may be true because your energy field may have holes in it and your aura may have holes. It also may be true, and this is what I see so frequently, energetically and intuitively, is that these same people, and I've been there, are in other people's spaces, or there are rips in their aura and energy is coming through the rips. So, what I'm so passionate about is offering practices that help strengthen energetic boundaries and assisting people in the way that I have trained and been assisted in personally and now professionally on boundaries. And so boundaries are really interesting when you start to switch your perception of I've got to keep you out there to I've got to contain, I've got to be in my own energy field. And I want to offer you a very, very simple practice that you can do to assist with grounding, with boundaries, and that is grounding. But it's a little bit different. So the idea is what you can do is, first of all, you can imagine a waterfall of light from your core all the way down to the center of the earth and kind of lock it in there and allow the flow of the energy, whether it's yours or not, does not matter. Because good boundaries have to do, ironically, with flexibility, fluidity, and discernment. They're not about creating giant shields around ourselves, as many empath trainings will tell you. This, in fact, blocks out a lot of the world and can leave you feeling really stranded inside yourself. And the other really interesting thing that I want to share with you before I continue with this practice, which I will go back to, is that when you are trying to block out the world and feeling things, you might have some blocks in your energy. You might have some resonance with what it is you're trying to block out. So if you're trying to block out bad, quote unquote, bad energy or negative energy, it may be that you have some repressed sadness. You may have some repressed anger. And this is not bad. And there are ways to work with it energetically, intuitively, through hypnosis, through relaxation, maybe through exercise, that do not involve years of psychotherapy, which is what I learned having been through this experience personally. And I come by this honestly, and that's why I share these practices with you, because I was in the field for 20 years in psychology. And I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater at all. There are many beautiful practices and many forms of psychotherapy that can be incredibly helpful. But what I am saying is that if you are an energetic, sensitive, empathic being, and you're intuitive, and you've got some good self-awareness, you can use these tools and leap ahead of years of psychotherapy, which I wish I could have done. So I'm telling you, this is something that you can do instead, or maybe in addition to psychotherapy, where you're using tools with your energy body to become better at boundaries. And it's very different from saying no to somebody when they ask you to a social event. That is a behavioral change as opposed to an energetic shift, which produces natural abilities to say no when needed or yes, and not just block out the world. So here is the practice that I originally started with you. You'll have to forgive my ADHD brain and the way that I fluidly move through the world. And I'm going to move a little bit here because I'm uncomfortable. So I'm going to just transition a little bit. And that is part of what good boundaries are. It's saying, hey, even though we don't know each other, I'm going to move and see what feels comfortable to me in this moment, knowing that you'll probably shift. And if you don't like this video, you can turn it off. But if you do resonate with this energy and you do understand it, then we can flow together. And isn't that fun? So, and flowing together means that you have your experience and I have mine, and we're also resonating together. And isn't that fun? So here is the exercise that I started about 2 minutes ago. Here's what you do. You create a grounding cord all the way down to the center of the earth, and you choose a color. The teacher I like, Janet Wright, talks about red, orange, or yellow because those are the 3 lower chakra colors. And you have it go down to the center of the earth, and you just allow yourself, you just tell yourself, release, release, release. And you might feel energy releasing from the backs of your legs, from the soles of your feet, from your hips and your hip joints. You might feel it releasing even from your arms and your body, just sort of, like smoothly, like rolling down your body and going down to the center of the earth where it's being recycled and neutralized and sent back from where it came. Notice that this is not a process of pushing away or pulling. There's no force in it. And the beautiful thing about energy work and intuition is that you go with the flow. It's not about trying to make something happen. It's about using your natural resources. So allow yourself, and if you can't visualize, don't worry about it. Just sense it. Sense it with your body. Imagine, create in your mind, or just know that you are creating this grounding cord and let the energy go down. And then notice what happens as you allow yourself to do this. Now, in this video, I'm talking, but afterwards, you can do this where you create a grounding cord. It should be pretty wide. It should go down to the center of the earth. You can allow it to wrap around the center of the earth if you want to, or create an anchor. Some people like that. Also, I like to create roots from the center of my feet. There are chakras there, and you can just imagine them blooming and allowing roots going down to the center of the earth. Now, here's something really interesting that you can do while you're doing this. Instead of putting the locus of yourself, like behind your eyes, you can kind of notice, where is my sense of self right now? For me, it's like the back of my head. So I'm going to transition that to my lower dantian below my belly button. I'm going to transition the sense of my core self behind my belly button and just focus there, while allowing my eyes to still see and my ears to still hear and my heart to still be beating and feeling. And I'm putting my attention, and you can do this too, put your attention behind your belly button as you allow the energy just to flow down your feet and legs. And just notice how your energy is different after this practice. And I would love to hear the reason why you shift your energy from wherever your sense of self is that it's very common for those of us who are sensitive, empathic, intuitive, and energetic beings. We're all energetic beings, but those who are more sensitive to energy, more attuned, to kind of float outside of our bodies or to be in the back part of our bodies. And also to focus on other people's expressions, which can be very dislocating to our sense of self and our boundaries. So when you begin to focus your attention behind your belly button, there's a shift into your own body and a centering that happens. You can do it anywhere along this meridian, the central meridian, but I recommend doing it more in the core area, and especially below the throat, where you can just play with it and see. And write in the comments below how this works for you and what it feels like. And set the timer, give yourself 5 minutes to release energy. And then notice how you feel. How does releasing energy help with energy boundaries? It helps in every way, because when you get other people's energy out of your space, when you release it, when you release energy that's yours that needs to go, you can think more clearly. And then you can make decisions that come not from your amygdala or fight, flight, or freeze responses, but from your prefrontal cortex and the brain, from your heart, from your center. And what happens when you start to feel your physical body is you invite the parietal lobes in the brain to turn on. Those are the areas that allow for recognition of sensations, which calms the amygdala down and says, hey, it's all right. It's okay. You're safe here. So I hope you like this practice. Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. And I hope you'll like and subscribe if you like this channel. And I hope you have a really relaxing day where you can feel centered in yourself, which really is the power of good boundaries. Okay, bye for now.